Hello everyone and welcome to my WOTLK engineering guide. In this guide I'm going to talk about the benefits of choosing this profession, what you can prepare in Burning Crusade in order to speed level the profession in WOTLK, and last but not least, what you need to craft from level 375 to 450. In this expansion, engineering provides so many different benefits. For example, enchants on your glove for more damage, armor, or even haste. These enchants will be best in slot for most classes in the game. On top of this, you will also benefit from one of the different cloak enchants, or maybe even nitro boots, allowing you to either get away from a fight or pull monsters a lot easier. In Dalaran City, there is usually not an auction house, but if you choose to level engineering, you can interact with this NPC and all of a sudden you have an auction house in Dalaran City. As an engineer, you can also craft and use this item, allowing you to spawn a mailbox. This item is quite useful, also because you will be able to farm gold and send items to different bank characters. Another new item in Wrath of the Lich King will be the wormhole, allowing you to spawn this object or portal, and this you can interact with and teleport to different locations in Northrend. Also quite useful in case you need to get to an area to start farming gold. There's two different schematics that you can obtain in Burning Crusade to continue leveling your engineering in Wrath of the Lich King. You can craft these items from level 375 and all the way up to around 395. These two items require quite a few materials, but the scope will most likely end up being the cheapest one to craft, and you can do this for the next 20 levels. For most professions, I recommend you to prepare something like this, but for engineering it's not really worth it. The reason for this is because in Wrath of the Lich King, you can level up your profession by crafting different things from 375 to 395. And those Wrath of the Lich King materials that you craft, you will also use later on to continue leveling your engineering. So by crafting these Burning Crusade items, you will have to go back and craft the Wrath of the Lich King materials anyway, else you will not be able to continue leveling your profession. Well, of course you could always buy the materials on the auction house, but this will also be expensive, and then you have just wasted a lot of gold preparing Burning Crusade materials. For those of you who wish to only level your profession with Wrath of the Lich King materials, then this is what you need to craft for the next 5 levels, so to 380. At level 380 you have some different options. You can for example craft one of these two items, but in my opinion it's gonna be better to just craft what you did before. So for the next 5 levels I usually craft these as well, and that's because I will be using them anytime soon. By the time that you reach level 385, you will start crafting these decoys, and this you will also be doing for the next 5 levels. At level 390, you will unlock the Froststeel Tube, and these you need to craft all the way up to level 400, so for the next 10 levels. You will also need these later on in the guide. Well, you actually need them right now, from level 400 to 405. The materials for this gun also require you to visit a vendor, because the two materials at the bottom you can purchase from different engineering vendors. From 405 to 410, you need to craft these. When you reach level 410, you have some different options. These will probably be the cheapest and most efficient way to level, but you could also be crafting the healing injector kits. Just go with the one that is the cheapest, so look up the price for the different materials on auction house and then craft the cheapest thing. At level 415, you'll start crafting these. This skill will turn green fairly fast, but then again, it's a cheap way to level your profession, and therefore I recommend you to do this all the way up to 425. There is a way more expensive way to level your profession as well, that is to craft the mana injector kit. These you can however resell on the auction house, so maybe you will be able to break even. Make sure to check the price for the materials and see if it's gonna be worth it. At level 425, you will start crafting these headpieces. They will have a random stat, and some of them will be so useful that you will be able to resell them for a high profit on the auction house. But I highly recommend you to also craft one of these portable mailboxes, because you will need this eventually, so why not craft it right now and get a skill at the same time. At level 430 you can craft these scopes for the next 10 levels, but it might be expensive in the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King Classic because these gems are rare and expensive. As we get further in the expansion, these gems will probably not be that expensive, and this might be the way to level your profession. But else you could also be crafting one of these two trinkets. These you can also resell on the auction house to other engineers. Earlier in the video, we also leveled our profession by crafting different materials. And if you have any of these left over, then you will be able to use them right now to craft these trinkets. At level 435, you could also just stop crafting the trinkets or the scope and swap to this item instead. You should also be crafting a wormhole. This you can either resell or use yourself to teleport to different locations in Northrend. But what you mainly need to focus on is crafting the gnomish army knives. This you do to 440. At level 440, you will also unlock something big. It's going to be the different engineering heads, so the level 72 epic heads, and these you will even use at level 80. At this point, you have also unlocked most of the important things for engineering, but if you wish to continue leveling your engineering, then you can craft the gnomish army knives all the way up to 448. Then you can min-max by crafting a wormhole to 449, and last but not least, your goggles to reach level 450. And then you can go to the trainer to train the 2 new epic guns. But yeah, that's also about it for this profession guide. In case you would like to see other Wrath the Lich King classic guides, then make sure to check out the channel. Also make sure to subscribe in case you would like to support the channel so I will be able to continue releasing these videos. As always, thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Peace.